There is a place that is spoken about only in whispers, a dark area that spawns the beginnings of urban legends, a place where anything can happen and usually does. During the light of day, it hides just outside of view, but when the sun goes down, spirits, creatures of the night, roam free, and things do go bump in the night. It is in every state and every country, and there is no escaping it, no matter how safe you feel behind your locked doors and latched windows. So we invite you to turn down the lights and turn up your radio while we join Dave Schrader and Tim Dennis, your hosts, on a journey into the darkness on the edge of town.
Good evening and welcome to the second hour of Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. Again, we hope you're having a happy, healthy, safe Labor Day weekend. We'd like to have you back with us again next weekend, so make sure you're letting somebody else drive. If you're drinking, have a little bit of fun, but not too much crazy fun. Appreciate everybody tuning in to us this evening for the show. We just had a chance to talk to Ryan Buell from Penn State Paranormal and talk about the conference that he has coming up with the Penn State UnivCon 5. Our next guest is Janice Oberding, and she's an author, tour guide. She's the head of HauntedNevada.com. She's written books like Las Vegas Haunted, as well as 5 other books on the paranormal. She's appeared on shows like Scariest Places on Earth, Dead Famous, Travel Channel, and the History Channel. And she takes somewhat of a more lighthearted approach to the paranormal, believing the investigation should always be an adventure rather than a chore. She's also running and heading up the Las Vegas Paranormal Conference, which is coming up on October 1st and 2nd. That's definitely something you're going to want to check out. If you have not had a chance to look up the information, you can go to TLVPC, that stands for the Las Vegas Paranormal Conference. That's TLVPC.com, and look up all the information right there. We're co-sponsoring the event with them, and they're going to have some fantastic guests. They've got Janice will be there talking about the different books she's written and about some of the historic ghost stories that have taken place in Nevada. Robert Allen, the producer of Haunted Vegas Tour and Show, will be there. Chris Fleming, our good friend here at the show, will also be there, and he's from the TV show Dead Famous. He'll be on hand leading a seance at one point and being part of an investigation. I believe Leslie Rule is going to be there. Richard Salva, the author of Soul Journey from Lincoln to Lindbergh, and Tim Cridland from Ripley's Believe It or Not TV show. There's going to be more speakers to come. There's going to be a lot of fun things to be involved in, like the cocktail party, great lectures, midnight seance, ghost stories, and a live ghost hunt and more. But right now, let's welcome to the show Janice Oberding. Good evening, Janice.
Good evening, Dave. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you very much for joining us here this evening.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, we look forward to seeing you and meeting you out in person out at the conference. That's going to be a lot of fun. And now, how many years have you been running the Las Vegas Paranormal Conference out there?
This will be our second year.
Awesome. So you're just kind of in the fledgling states growing up with it, huh?
Right. We're just starting out, basically.
All right. Well, very cool. With the opportunities that you've had out there, now how long have you been a Las Vegas or a Nevada resident?
Oh, over 40 years.
So that makes you pretty well versed in all the different stories and lore out there, I would guess, huh?
Right.
All right. So have you had any experiences? Everybody always wants to know for the people out in Vegas and the Nevada area. Have you had any experiences with Area 51 yet?
No, not at all. I don't get too close to Area 51.
You stay away from that, huh? Do you guys see many of the flying things that purportedly appear in the sky over Vegas?
Do you know, I've never seen anything. I've had people tell me that they have, but I never have.
All right. Well, come on, you're supposed to be regaling us with creepy stories of giant aliens coming in and eating from the buffets.
Well, I've seen bats flying around the Luxor. You know that light that they have on the Luxor?
Oh, sure.
Shines up well over 100 miles. They say astronauts saw it, and I know that bats are drawn to it. So I've seen bats flying in Vegas.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool. Now, how did you get involved with the paranormal? What kind of spiked your interest into getting involved with that?
My grandmother in the 50s was they didn't call them ghost investigators in those days. I'd say ghost enthusiasts. And we lived in Monterey, California, and as you know, that's one of the state's older cities. And she was fascinated with stories of ghosts and possibly places that may be haunted. So she took my sister and I to a lot of places like that and talked about the spirits, and she and her friends did seances. And so naturally, I just grew up believing or knowing that the paranormal exists.
Okay. And did you actually see things for yourself, spirits and communication at all?
I've seen a couple of ghosts over the years, a couple of spirits, yes.
Now, what type of spirits have you actually had the opportunity to see? Have you seen residual spirits? Have you seen full-body apparitions? Have you seen mists? What exactly have you been witness to?
Well, I'll tell you, my friend Mark and Debbie Constantino and I went to Georgia this spring, and we were in a small town called Beaufort. I don't know if you're familiar with that one or not.
Yep.
And we were in this tunnel, and everybody was doing EVP and taking photos. And Debbie said, "Step away." And I stepped, and I saw this man in a blue shirt, like walking right toward me. And Debbie said, "Do you see that?" And I said, "Yes." And nobody saw that but Debbie and I. But here I saw this man walking right toward me, and then we went on to the Myrtles later in that particular visit, and I saw mist coming through a connecting door, and nobody was smoking in the next room either.
That's not good. So have you ever felt afraid when you've been involved in any of these investigations?
Not afraid. Apprehensive maybe, or put off by like a certain negativity that you would want to leave the place post haste, but not actually fear for my safety.
Okay. Now, with your investigating that you've done, have you come across any of the demonic at all?
No, Dave. I actually don't believe in demons, and that I don't. So maybe that's why I haven't, because I don't believe.
Okay. When you say you don't believe in demons, what exactly do you mean? You don't believe that they're here mucking around with us in spirit form?
I don't believe. I don't believe in that realm. I don't believe in that. I believe that people, that spirits, ghosts, whatever we have, are the same type of personality we have in this life we're going to carry into our death.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that there are some, as we know, there are evil in this world. There's a lot of negative that can be overwhelming to the point that it could be taken as demonic, I suppose. Or if a spirit has the possibility to trick people, say a very evil person, a murderer, if you will, somebody who's very evil dies, say that they have this possibility, because we really don't know what spirits are capable of tricking people into believing, I'm a demon. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my belief.
All right, that's fair enough. I know everybody seems to have. That's what's so funny about this field. There's really no expert of the field, I don't believe. I mean, there's a lot of people who are very learned and studied over it, but the people that call themselves experts, and this is no slam against any of the purported experts out there, but they all seem to have conflicting views of what the paranormal is and how it works.
That's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
I think this is just too much of a brand new thing for people to really have a grasp on it. And I guess truly, we're never really going to know, are we?
I always say, Dave, I'm in no big hurry to know, because I won't know till I'm dead, and
That's
I'm in
right.
no big hurry.
Well, I don't blame you. That's the way to approach the whole subject. Now, with the books, why don't you, we're going to take a break here in a few seconds. We'll come back, though, and I'd like you to tell me a little bit about some of the more famous ghost stories in Las Vegas, and kind of give us some of the history of what's been going on out there.
Okay,
and
great.
For those of you that are just tuning in, you're listening to the Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. Our guest this evening is Janice Oberding, and she is an author, she is a tour guide, and she's also running the Las Vegas Paranormal Conference out in Las Vegas on October 1st and 2nd. If you get a chance, come on out, meet me, Chris Fleming, and all the other guests that'll be a part of it. We'll be back with Janice and more of her stories right after this.
Don't you dare move. There's more to come from the Darkness on the Edge of Town with Dave Schrader and Tim Dennis.
Do you want to take charge of your life? We all have our demons we want to get rid of. This is Russ Clark. My Hypnosis CD series will help you take charge of your life and kick those demons out. Thousands of people have made personal improvements through the power of hypnosis. Your success is guaranteed by me, or I will refund 100% of your investment. To kick those demons or to add relaxation into your life, visit my website, www.powerhypnosis.net.
Leave me alone! Do you have ghosts? Do you have dreams? Do you have an interest in the unknown? Want to know more about the paranormal? Come and join us in Para Investigators, the 24/7 online paranormal chat. Visit us today at infinityparanormal.com. and tell us what's been keeping you up in the dark.
The smell of voodoo hangs in the air. Either that or Dave and Tim had the 7-bean salad for dinner.
Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 35, 45 minutes. Somebody open the window.
Welcome back to the darkness, or whatever is hanging in the air, on the edge of town.
Good evening and welcome back to the Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. Our guest this evening is Janice Oberding, and she is an author, she is a tour guide, and she is also involved with HauntedNevada.com. You can check out her website by going to HauntedNevada.com. She's also one of the people that are heading up the Las Vegas Paranormal Conference. It's a great opportunity to come out and meet with other people that are like-minded. I know that there's a lot of different conferences going on out east right now, and for those of you that live in the West Coast or out this way, it'd be a much nicer way for you to head on out and spend a weekend. It's October 1st and 2nd, and you can get all the information about the conference by going to TLVPC.com, just like the Las Vegas Paranormal Conference, just TLVPC.com. Check it out, see all the great information and all the fun things that have been going on there. Make sure that you can stop out and have some fun. Tickets are going pretty quick. They only had about 100 tickets left. I think that they're probably closer into about the 50 ticket range, so you're going to want to make sure to order your tickets while you can. Janice, welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining us. And before we went to the break, we were just alluding to the fact with the books that you've written. Now, you've written 5 books, is that correct, on the paranormal? Why don't you can you tell us which books you've written so people can look for them?
Okay. Haunted Nevada, Ghost Hunter's Guide to Virginia City, Haunted Gold and Silver, Las Vegas Haunted, and Ghosts and Legends of the Lake Tahoe area. And I have Infamous Reno that's not out just yet, but it's being printed as we speak.
Awesome. When is that going to be available?
It should be available at the conference.
All right, great. So people can pick up a copy there. Well, that's good to hear. Why don't you tell us, let's hear about some of the more infamous ghosts that live in Nevada and what your theories are that they're still there for.
Okay, now, one of my favorites, of course, is Bugsy Siegel.
Sure.
Say Benjamin Siegel. As many people know, he was actually, they call the father of Vegas. And we have a memorial, if you will, plaque dedicated to him at the Flamingo. They have a wonderful garden there. If anybody comes to the conference, I suggest they go there and visit that garden. It's free, and it's a nice memorial, koi, exotic birds, a nice thing like that. But they dedicate this to him as he started the whole thing. And he has been seen at the memorial, and there's also a wedding chapel where people say they've seen him, so he's usually there. And an interesting thing about Bugsy is the Historical Society there has a very nice display dedicated to him, but never once do they refer to him as Bugsy. It's always Benjamin or Mr. Siegel. I think that's very interesting.
Well, isn't it? I always thought that it was because Bugsy Siegel hated being called Bugsy, wasn't he?
He did, but but he isn't complaining to anybody much lately, but maybe they they have the door to his suite there. They have the chandelier that hung over him. They have his nail clippers there. I think that's interesting. Some people who are really into psychometry and that type of thing might enjoy that.
All right. So he's one of, have they seen his spirit much out there?
Yes. Now, another one that is, I will tell a story on my mom, and if she's listening, I'm sorry, Mom, on Liberace. His home there is on Shirley Avenue, not too far from Carluccio's that he owned in the Liberace Museum. My mother and I went there 2 years ago to visit, and my mother is a total, even though her mother was into ghosts, my mother is a total non-believer. She told me, well, I don't believe, but I'll go with you. I went all through there looking, Liberace took a bath here. Liberace slept here. I'm so excited. Liberace. Well, I walk into the waiting, like he had a marble waiting room there, and I walk in, and my mother is staring up at the ceiling, and I said, what's wrong? She said, I just saw some blue water dripping down from the ceiling, forming a puddle, so I stepped around so I wouldn't slip. It was a marble floor. And I looked up, and there was no way this water could be coming down. It was coming right down from the painting of Liberace's face, which is done in blue. And I said, well, that was his way of telling you that he is here. I mean, there was no water anywhere, but she saw it dropping down from his painting.
Wow, that's wild. Very creepy. What other kind of ghosts have you seen or dealt with out there in Vegas?
Well, there's Red Fox, and as you know, when he died, he owed the IRS several $1,000s.
Right.
Well, the IRS decided, well, of course, you're going to pay taxes whether you're alive or dead here. So they took the house that he owned, and sold it to a fan of his. The fan moved in, and within a few weeks, he started seeing Red Fox. The doors started shaking, different things like that. Well, he decided he liked Red Fox living, but he didn't like him dead too much, so he moved out.
Okay.
Now, I've been in the house a few times when they were remodeling it, and that they could not keep tenants. I felt creepy when I walked in there. I believe everybody is sensitive to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to say we're all psychic or gifted like, say, Chris Fleming is, but I think we're all in tune to a degree.
Okay.
I walked in there, and I could feel something. I didn't feel negative or anything. You could just sense that, yes, there is something here. Well, a real estate agency bought it 3 years ago, and they put a little red fox out, dedicated to him, of course, in the front.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't had any problems since then.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you think he was just still looking for his homage here on Earth, huh?
I think he was trying to tell the IRS, you might have taken this away from me, but I'm going to stay regardless, and, there's not a whole lot you can do now. But.
No, that's true. But Elizabeth, the big one finally came, and he's still staying there. I don't get it.
He's still there.
That's cool. Now, real quickly, with the Bugsy Siegel, what kind of ghost stories surround Bugsy Siegel? I mean, has he been seen clipping his nails, walking around, laying there dead? What
his nails, clipping his nails. No, he's been seen at the wedding chapel. Now, I spoke to a woman in there, and I did a lot of photos, and of course, I got orb photos, but they've been so discredited.
Right.
I put them on the site anyways, more of an interest thing, but the woman said they were told not to talk about seeing his ghost in the wedding chapel, but I still talk about it. I'm not employed there. I mean, he's been seen in the wedding chapel, and then, of course, before they tore down the main building, he was in his own penthouse there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a spirit, I know he didn't die there. He was killed in Beverly Hills. But he loved Las Vegas.
Right.
And I think that love or that connection would draw his spirit back there to the place that he did love, that this was his, he started this was his dream, and I believe that's why he's there.
Do you believe, though, that it's the hauntings they're seeing are more residual, or are they an actual intelligent haunting of Bugsy coming back and just checking up on stuff?
I think an actual intelligent haunting of Bugsy checking up on stuff.
Now, is the flamingo still in the same place where the original flamingo was?
Yes.
Now, have they knocked it down and rebuilt it as they've done with so many of the different hotels?
Yeah, they've knocked down the original building. They've taken out what was his penthouse and rebuilt around that.
Okay.
And when he built this, of course, it was out in the middle of nowhere. Nowadays, it's right down. Yes.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot. I get out to the Vegas area about twice a year, once with my dad for the Super Bowl and once just to go out there for business. But I'm looking forward to coming out to the convention. Now, with the convention, can you tell us a little bit more about it? What all do you guys entail to do, and where are you planning on having the seance? Do you know yet?
Well, we're hoping. I'm not sure. I'm not certain on this yet because things can change in an instant, especially in Vegas time, which is much faster than New York time.
Right.
But we're hoping to do it at Carluccio's.
Okay.
I think that would be a wonderful place because, Liberace owns this place. Actually, he started it. It was Liberace's Tivoli Gardens. And for many years now, he's been seen there. I've had people tell me stories. I was involved in one ghost hunt and one seance there. The ghost hunt, we got a little bit of EVP. Of course, I don't know why so much EVP always says get out, but we get a lot of EVP saying get out.
They don't want you there, that's why.
No. Well, this was in the women's bathroom, mind you, and we were doing EVP get out, and there was nobody in there except two investigators, and then we had dowsers there, but I think it would be so interesting to have somebody of Chris Fleming's ability to come in there and try and contact Liberace and any other spirits that might be hanging around the area.
I don't know. Liberace seemed like kind of an egomaniac. I don't know if he'd like somebody as pretty as Chris Fleming there.
No.
You know?
He might really like Chris.
Oh, yeah, he might like Chris. I forgot. My brother George would love you too, Chris.
He might really like Chris is blonde and handsome. Yeah, he might like him.
Now, where can people get your books?
Well, they can buy them on the website. I believe they're available at Amazon.com or Borders.
Okay, and then are there links at your site at Haunted Nevada? Okay, and that's hauntednevada.com.
Yes.
Correct? Okay. So we're planning on trying to have a seance out there. We're going to be doing an investigation. Have you found a place that you're going to be able to talk about yet about where we're going to be investigating for the conference?
Not yet. We were trying, there's several places we have in mind. Last year we did the Haunted Park, and that turned out pretty good. We got a lot of what we considered evidential, but again, a lot of EVP that said, get out and here we're at the park, and orb photos and that type of thing. We're considering possibly a haunted saloon that's nearby, a ghost town, a real ghost town with ghosts.
Well, that's good, yeah, because a ghost town without ghosts is just a town.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's pretty.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, we're still looking. So many places, and especially in Las Vegas, it's a 24-hour town.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a lot of customers in there, they're not wanting you to come in and do a ghost investigation and shove the customers aside. So that's what we have to work around.
I gotcha. So, we're just looking for different places to have the different events. And it is a very affordable program. If you guys are interested, come on out. It's going to be a fun time. There's going to be groups from all over the United States that are going to be showing up. There's, just a nice opportunity, as Tim and I have found doing these trips that we do, that you get a really nice combination of people that are interested in the same thing you are, and where a lot of people still don't feel confident to talk to friends or relatives about the paranormal. Here's kind of a nice outlet for you, especially if you're out that way and you're interested. You can come out, you can talk to people that are like-minded, get to meet some really fun people that are involved in the paranormal and have as big a passion and love for it as you do. So it's definitely something that you want to check out. Is there any other places you could tell me? What are some of the, give me like two of the best ghost stories that come from the Nevada area?
Two of the best ghost stories that come from Nevada would have to be the Pioneer Saloon. That is about 30 miles from Vegas.
Okay.
That's where Clark Gable supposedly haunts. There's the ghost of the old Pioneer that hangs out there. They've got something dedicated to him. I've been involved in a few ghost investigations there, and they've turned up a lot of evidential things. There again, though, no matter what you present to a non-believer, they're going to say that's bunk. But yes,
right.
That's one.
Now, the Clark Gable, he was there because isn't that the bar that he waited at when he was waiting to find out if the love of his life had been killed, right?
That's it.
Okay.
And then we have Marilyn Monroe and Frank Sinatra at the Calneva Lodge, which is in northern Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the Nevada-California border.
Sure.
And I believe Chris did some investigating there for Dead Famous.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that place is Marilyn Monroe's cabin is still there. I'll knock on wood, though, because new owners want to tear it all down and build timeshares.
Oh, what a shame.
It is a shame. It is a shame because even here again, I'm going to say, even people who aren't as gifted as, say, Chris Fleming or somebody like that can feel. You can walk in there and you can feel her presence. You can feel something there. It's quite evident that there's still spirits there. The showroom, Frank Sinatra, then, of course, Sam Giancana. I think he may hang out in the back of the showroom. There's a very negative feeling there.
Wow. And
just to be on that stage, he built a special stage, Frank Sinatra, when he took over the place in 1958, 59. He built a stage that rose up and went down so he wouldn't have to climb up to get on stage. And you can just feel all the presence of the performers and things that were in this building.
So you think that's more of a residual haunting than just that kind of the excitement and energy? Has anybody actually seen Sinatra or Marilyn Monroe strolling the property at all?
They have.
Oh, really?
Marilyn Monroe, people have seen her walking across the property. I actually felt, and I don't know if it was Marilyn. It probably wasn't Marilyn. I'm hoping it was Frank. I felt somebody grab my knee during a ghost investigation there with Tom and Lisa Butler. We were sitting around a table, and we weren't doing a seance or anything. We were just discussing EVP and the spirits, and I felt something grab my leg. And it wasn't Lisa, and it wasn't Tom, so I'm hoping it was Frank.
He was a little Scooby-Dooby-Dooing you, huh?
I'm hoping it was Frank.
I see how that works. Well, Janice, I appreciate you joining us on the show this evening. And again, for people that are interested in the Las Vegas Paranormal Conference, you can check out the website at tlvpc.com. Again, that's for the Las Vegas Paranormal Conference.com, TLVPC. And if you're interested in any more information about Janice or contacting her, you can go to her website, which is www.hauntednevada.com. And did you say, I'm sorry, Janice, are there links there to order your book as well?
Yes, there are.
Okay, so there are links there to order all the different books that you have. And she does have a brand new book that will be coming out in time for the conference. So if you get a chance, you can come on out, and I bet if they're selling them, you can probably even get an autographed copy. How about that, Janice?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you out there in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
and
great.
Appreciate your time that you spent with us this evening. And I hope that we sell this thing out and get a lot of people out there and having as much fun as I know we're all going to have. Thank you very much for joining us, Janice.
Thank you, Dave.
You're listening to the Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. We'll be back with our next guest right after this.
Once you have seen Dave and Tim in the light, you'll understand why we must return to the darkness on the edge of town. Stay tuned. There is more to come.
Leave me alone! Do you have ghosts? Do you have dreams? Do you have an interest in the unknown? Want to know more about the paranormal? Come and join us in Para Investigators, the 24/7 online paranormal chat. Visit us today at infinityparanormal.com and tell us what's been keeping you up in the dark.
If you read Taps Paramag every month, you'll be able to tell the difference between the absurd
Could not go to work because Bigfoot stole my car.
and the creepy. Taps Paramag takes you where few would ever go on purpose. From exclusive interviews with the cast of The Ghost Hunters to the latest trends in technology in the field of the paranormal. To join our journey, order at tapsparamag.com.
If it weren't for ghosts and aliens, these guys wouldn't be getting any action at all.
Yeah, baby!
I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Welcome back to the Darkness on the Edge of Town with Dave Schrader and Tim Dennis.
Good evening and welcome back to the Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. It was a pleasure talking to Janice Oberding. And remember, if you're going to be looking for more information about the Las Vegas Paranormal Conference, which is coming up the 1st and 2nd of October, please go check out the website at TLVPC, the Las Vegas Paranormal Conference, TLVPC.com for all the information. I'll be out there. Chris Fleming will be out there. It'll be a great opportunity to come out, mix and mingle with other people involved in the paranormal. You'll definitely want to check it out. Our next guest that we have on, been trying to get on the show for a while, and we're going to actually have her back on the show later on where we can have her on for a full hour, talk to her about all of her experiences and her interests with the paranormal. But right now we've got her on the show to talk a little bit about our upcoming trip that we're going to be doing with her in January. Joining us from Rhode Island is the beautiful Donna LaCroix from Taps and Ghost Hunters. Welcome to the show, Donna.
Oh, thank you, Dave.
Appreciate you joining us. Well, it's great having you. Yeah, I
The
mean,
intro.
well, you know, when it fits, you got to put it in there, right? Now we've, yeah, exactly. We've got Donna on the line with us, and for those of you that are familiar with the TV show Ghost Hunters on the Sci-Fi Channel, Donna's been part of season 1 and season 2. She's one of the integral parts of the team. She helps set up a lot of the different investigations that go on. She's also a part of the investigations. Donna, exactly what is your role with TAPS? What exactly is your title, and what do you do for TAPS?
My main function in TAPS is as case manager. Dave, we get over, I'd say 400 email requests per week for investigations. And it takes a lot of time to go through them all and answer people who are looking for advice or want an investigation. And I also sort out the ones for our home team, our local team here that goes around the Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine area. So my main function is to go through these emails, answer as many questions as possible, set up local cases with also Lisa DeWallaby, and get these people some help, or at least put them in touch with another paranormal research group in the area that's a TAPS family group member.
Great. And with the TAPS family group members, you guys are actually familiar with the teams and how they work, so it's almost a referral basis, so you can help people find help wherever they are in the United States, right?
Exactly. I mean, you know, we obviously can't be traveling everywhere in the United States to fulfill all these case requests, but usually there's a group that's local in their area. We have so many group members across the country that we're really fortunate to have this network that we can refer people to. And that way they can have a local group come out that's TAPS family approved and help them and get them the help that they need.
Now, let me ask you this, Donna. When you started, now how long have you actually been an active member of TAPS?
I've been an active member of TAPS for 3 years this fall.
Okay.
And
so you came on basically the year right before the TV series came on.
Yeah, I came on right before the TV show happened, and I was in it for several months before I even heard of the show. And it was great. I mean, it was a real small grassroots organization. We would meet at the coffee shop every couple of weeks and discuss cases and set up who was going to go on what case when. Oops, sorry about that call coming in.
No problem.
And it was great. We all got a chance to exchange information and put our 2 cents into how the case is going to be set up and what we learned from them. So, yeah, I came on about 6-7 months before the inception of Ghost Hunters, and then when Ghost Hunters came along, I was at first really weary of doing a television show. In fact, I shied away from the notion for a few months, and then finally Grant got a hold of me and said, "Hey, you got to just meet the director. Just come on down and meet with him." I'm like, I don't have time for that. I work full time. I take care of my mother, and so he said, just meet with them. So I met with the director, and I liked what they had to say, and I liked the concept for the show, and it sounded exciting. 2 days later, I was on a plane to Pennsylvania, and it's been off and running for me since then. So it's been pretty exciting. I feel very fortunate and blessed to have been asked to do the show, and I think I made a great decision because I've learned so much with these guys and the production crew going to places that I never would have gone on my own to investigate. So it's been a real blessing for me.
So is there any truth to the rumor that there is an unreleased pilot episode where you're actually dressed in the Daisy Duke shorts with the tied-up shirt, and you decided to nix the sex appeal version of it and just kind of go with the girl next door look? Is that what you're doing?
That's on the Urban Legends organization.
Okay.
Yeah, occasionally I've been known to wear the Daisy Dukes and a bikini top, but that's stuff that you won't see on TV.
Wow, the ratings would soar if you guys would be,
I don't know about that, but I've told them they got to keep that off TV. I'm getting to be a little bit of an old broad.
Oh, come on, geez. What are you, almost 30?
Oh, I wish, Dave. That's really kind of you. That just made my day. But thank you very much.
Well, with us, you joined up 3 years ago, just before the show. You came in, which we're glad that you became a part of the show because you're a great part of it. Now,
Thank you
getting involved with TAPSA? What drew you to get involved with the paranormal? Were you having experiences of your own, or were you just always interested in the paranormal itself?
Well, that's twofold. I've always been interested in the paranormal. Since a young age, I had started to have experiences in the house that I grew up in. And what initially got me to contact TAPS was a relative who lives in that house started having activity happen and experiences, and she called me up, and she would repeat to me the same kind of experiences that I had grown up in that house. Now, there was no way, I never told anyone about what happened to me growing up and the things I experienced. So I, raised an eyebrow and went, wow, there's got to be something to it. And I just wanted to gain more insight on what could be happening and see if we could capture it on video and audio. And so I started looking around for organizations that focused on investigations from a more scientific standpoint, not the fluffy stuff. I wanted to go in there with hardcore equipment and see what we could pick up. So I found TAPS, and I met with them, Jason and Grant initially, and they were so nice, and they sat me down and explained how their investigations were conducted, and I was very impressed. So I just kept going to meetings. Unfortunately, the relative I mentioned, she was not too comfortable with having an investigation performed in her home, and I'm still trying to get TAPS to go there and convince her that she could use an investigation, but that's what initially got me into the group and involved and interested in TAPS. And once I started going to meetings and corresponding with everybody in the group and exchanging ideas, I was hooked. I thought they were a fascinating group. The dynamics were awesome. Everybody seemed to bring something different to the table. We all have different backgrounds, all different ages, different educational experiences, different life experiences. And the one main thing that I liked the most about the group was everybody had such a respect for each other, and they got each other's back. And when you're investigating, you need to be with a group of people you trust and a group of people that you know are going to look out for you, because you never know what's going to happen on investigation. So, back to my original point, I really just, like the group so much that I want to be part of this. And that's how it all happened.
Very cool. Now, you've been a part of the show. You've been doing this. I know that now you're helping to go over the cases, to review what you're going to be doing. We had the lovely Allison Smith with us a few weeks back, who is more of a skeptic of the show. Still seems to be a relative fan of the show for it being an entertainment show, but not really pleased with the way things are presented. And she does present an interesting question, which I think I answered on the show, but I'd like to hear from you as a TAPS person, and especially the one that helps set up these investigations for the TV show and for the regular investigations. She brought up an interesting point that in the first season, I believe it was only 25% of the places that you investigated were found to be paranormally, active. Mm-hmm. In the second season, it was more around 50% of the shows found something more paranormal. Is that because you're forced to find some place that's more paranormal, or are they, I know you're not going to come out and say, yeah, Dave, we're faking evidence, but I mean, are you finding more places that are paranormally active and it's just a quirky twist of fate? What exactly answers how you had a 25% jump from season 1 to season 2 on the locations that you're finding?
Well, you got to understand that second season we had a more of a variety and more of a scope of places to investigate. After season 1, people started to know us and our name, and the case requests that would come in were triple what they were in first season. So we had a larger variety of cases to choose from, and we were very picky about them. And we got to go to those locations that we felt were the best for recent paranormal activity. So you got to understand that first season, was not as, our choice in investigations were not as wide and varied as second season. And henceforth, the third season, same thing. I mean, we've just expanded our availability. Expanded our opportunity to investigate these places by threefold at least.
Well, that's what I thought. It was more along the lines, nobody knew who ghost hunters or TAPS were the first season. Now everybody wants you to investigate, and you guys are going to be able to get into places that are more well-known for being haunted, and you're going to find more opportunities now that you're a bigger, more celebrity ghost hunting team,
well,
correct?
In the statistics, you can run the statistics any way you want. You can go in and analyze us, how many haunted places that we investigated came up haunted, how many did not, how many times, Steve got scared of a spider. You could pick it apart as much as you want, but you got to keep in mind that as the show grew and people started to recognize who we were, we started to get a lot more case requests in, and henceforth we started to get a little bit more picky about the investigations we're gonna take part in.
Do you guys film? Do you guys film quite a few investigations that don't end up making it on TV because you get out there and find out that there's nothing going on?
Oh, yeah. That's another thing that people don't realize is that a lot of filmed investigations that happen during the filming season do not even make it on the show. And it's because, naturally, if it's not going to be exciting for the viewers to watch in terms of activity caught or drama that goes on, it's just not going to make it. So there are several investigations that I would have loved to see on TV just for the sheer fact that it was a great investigation, and we didn't end up coming up with anything. So, they don't air those episodes. Some of them they do, but a lot of them don't even make it to the, past the editing stations at all.
What do you look for as the case manager to direct people out to the investigation? Now, I know usually it's if children are involved and being hurt or frightened, usually that seems to take precedent. But then what else do you really look for to determine, this is one that we're going to investigate?
Well, for film investigations, certainly, and home investigations, children being involved is a big factor to motivate us to go out and investigate. Also, the frequency of activity. People that write in say something happens every once in a while. We don't feel threatened. We don't feel like we're in any sort of danger. We kind of put those a little bit on the back burner because it's not an urgent situation. But those people who write in and say, my family is just torn to pieces. The kids can't sleep. my wife and I are going out of my mind. We're ready to move out of the house and sell it and get out of here. We don't understand what's going on. Those are the people we want to get help right away. So that's, frequency of activity and level of activity is a big factor. In terms of film investigations as well, which we have learned this lesson, size of a location matters. We have about 12.
See, Tim, size does matter. I knew it.
As soon as I said that, I knew you were going to be off and running with that. In this situation, size absolutely does matter. I know.
That's a story of our lives, Tim. All right, so... Yeah, well, I guess to make it easier for filming, if it's a bigger, more open space, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we try to look for places that are at least 1,500 square feet. We've been invited to places that are 500 square feet, and to fit 12 to 15 crew members, and then 5 or 6 of us TAPS members, you start to trip over each other.
Sure.
And that's just, that's just a fact of doing the show. You need a large area. So, we're going to be a little bit more choosy about the places we go to because we want to make it a great investigation. We don't want to be tripping over each other, and we want to be able to focus in on what's going on instead of worrying about, who's in back of me, who's in front of me. So size of the location definitely does matter.
Okay.
It's not the motion of the house?
No.
No.
Motion of the spirits, yes. So have you yourself, with these investigations, have you found yourself really spooked at any one of them particularly? Has one stood out more for you as being just really freaky and you wish you wouldn't have been a part of it?
Oh, yeah. The one that comes to mind, hands down, is the New Bedford Armory investigation that we did. After our sound man, Frank, had fallen and gone down, I can't explain the feeling that overcame me. I mean, as an investigator, you have to be mindful and pull your emotions back and, stay in the moment as an investigator, not get caught up with the emotions and reactions that you have to an event. I was honing that skill at the time, but it wasn't, set in stone yet with me, and I just wanted to run out of the building.
Sure.
I just felt like everywhere around me was the potential for me to get hurt. And that's when Grant pulled me aside, and we went for a walk, and he said, look, there's going to be things that will happen to you on investigations. You could get slapped, pushed, shoved, bitten, scratched, whatever. He's like, you've got to be prepared for it. But after it happens, you got to just, stand your ground and continue on as an investigator to finish the investigation. You can't let your emotions, got to keep them in check. You can't let them overwhelm you. So, yeah, the New Bedford Armory was definitely a test to that notion, and I honestly just could not wait till the investigation was over. I was scared. I was scared to go to the bathroom by myself. I actually had one of the crew members, while I went in the bathroom, to stand outside the door just in case something happened to me. So, yeah, that was definitely the scariest place so far in terms of feeling like my life was going to be threatened. Have
you been touched, slapped, pinched, poked?
Yes, I have, actually.
And I don't mean by cast members. I mean by spirits.
Yeah, the cast members always play tricks on me, so,
right.
When I feel like a push to the back of the head, usually it's, Jason with a big smirk on his face. But no, in terms of paranormal activity or things I can't explain, I have had the sensations before of being touched and being pushed. And, at first you try to reason it out, as all of us skeptics do, and say, well, maybe I tripped over something, or maybe something else caused it. But, when things happen to you in your heart of hearts, and you know that it's not doing anything else, it's, it's a very strong notion that you say, wow, that really did happen, and I can't explain it. I wish I could. But, yeah, I've had those experiences before, and you know what? They fuel you to go on, and try to find out more about the situation and to have more experiences. Each one of us that has had physical contact at first is overwhelmed, and you just can't believe it happened. But, it's like a surge of energy afterwards. You just want to get back and see if anything else could happen. It's kind of a bizarre thing.
Yeah, no doubt. I would guess.
I mean, nobody wants to get slapped around or bitten or scratched, but it's just so exciting when it happens, and you cannot figure out how it happened, and you want to see if it could happen again.
So now, with season 3 kicking off here, when is officially? Do we know when it's going to air? Is it going to be starting up in September here or October?
Well, I'm hearing that it's going to, the new episodes are going to start airing at the end of September, early October. There's not an exact date yet, and when I do get an exact date, I'm going to post it on my MySpace, but that's what I'm hearing so far, end of September, early October.
So can people look you up on MySpace and add you as a friend?
Oh, yeah, they can, absolutely. I'd love to meet fans, and I love to talk to people, so, yeah, I have a location. It's called myspace.com/Vestafire, Vestafire.
Okay, and if you go to our website, our MySpace with Darkness Radio, Donna's right in our top group of friends there, so you can click on that as well and add her as a friend. That really is Donna. All the celebrities and guest ghost celebrities that we have on there are the real people. We've checked them out. I've talked to each one of them on the phone, so I know that it's not somebody pretending to be them. We learned that the hard way, didn't we, Tim? When we found out that somebody was pretending to be Tim and putting up pictures of him in a bikini. It just wasn't...
I look darn cute, though.
Yeah. I'd like to hear that story sometime.
Talk about paranormal. So the other reason we wanted to have you on the show tonight was you are one of the guest celebrities that we have that are going to be with us in January at the Queen Mary event.
Yes.
And for people that are just tuning in and haven't heard about these events in the past, we put on paranormal retreats with our listeners where we go with anywhere between 75 to 200 listeners to a haunted venue. And we had an opportunity to go out to Rhode Island earlier this year in May, and we were able to go out there and meet up with the TAPS crew and check out the TAPS headquarters and do an investigation of the haunted hotel that we were staying in. Had a great time with Steve and Paula. And then Donna also made an appearance and visited us. So did Jason and Grant and Brian and Dustin and Mike, and I think... And
yeah.
Lisa also stopped in during the weekend. So we had a really nice time doing that, so much so that people were begging me, when is the next event? So we booked one for Colorado, which is coming up in the first weekend of November. Unfortunately, that's currently sold out. But, sold out of that, lickety-split with 200 people going on the trip. We've got 4 investigators that are going to be there. We've got 2 from Ghost Hunters. We've got Jay and Grant, the big dogs, will be there. We've also got Chris Fleming from Dead Famous. And we've got Paula also will be joining us there from Ghost Hunters. Then we had people wanting to know, when are we going to go to other states? Because people don't want to travel too far to go check out these events. So we're going to try to hit all the different states. The next one I really wanted to check out was the Queen Mary. So Donna was happy enough to join us on that. Donna and Lisa will be joining us to do the investigations on the Queen Mary. And Donna was actually there for the filming of the Queen Mary episode, which is still kind of a controversial episode. Fans either love it or hate it or a little bit of both because of some of the activity that was found to be fraudulent. So I thought it'd be interesting to go back there and see what we can find. We've got Donna, Lisa, Chris Fleming from Chris Flubig. All of a sudden, I've got, how nice is I say Fleming, I get all clogged up with flub. Donna and Lisa and Chris Fleming from Dead Famous will be there, and also Patrick Burns from the TV show Haunting Evidence on Court TV will be our celebrity ghost hunters. And we're going to check it out. We're opening up for about 150 slots for people to come out and check. We've been selling tickets already, doing really well. You can find out more information about that by going to our website at darknessradio.com. Click on the Trips tab, and there is a button there to see about the Queen Mary. We also have in December another trip coming up to go to Rhode Island. We're going to do the same kind of event where we're going to check out the haunted hotel. We're going to have a nice dinner together with the TAPS members that are in town and are available to be there. We're going to also check out the TAPS headquarters, and the lovely Donna said that she might stop by if she's in town and not out filming, so hopefully we'll get to see her there. But for the Queen Mary event, now you guys got to go out and you did the investigation. Now, for those of us that did see the episode, we know that one scene was very controversial where somebody apparently tried to fake footage by stopping the video camera, moving the blankets and sheets, or getting underneath there, turning the camera on, and then moving the blankets and sheets off the bed, then stopping the camera again and getting out of the way. So that was interesting. But did you feel that there was any other paranormal activity going on that ship when you were there?
I definitely did feel like there was other activity going on. I mean, what happened with the High 8 and actually it was room, I believe, B340 was on the B deck, and this room is, famously haunted, supposedly, and had been permanently locked off because there were just so many reports of guests having the covers ripped off the bed while they slept, and faucets would turn on and off, hangers would be rattled during the night, and people would be woken up. And as most of the viewers and the fans know after watching the episode, we were all really disappointed after learning that the High 8 camera that we set up in that room had been tampered with. And what happened, was that Steve and Tango, during the course of the night, went to go change the tape and recorder, noticed that the bed covers were pulled down, and, they were excited to review the tape right there and then to see what happened. So, they rolled back the tape. They saw that the bed covers were being yanked off. And at first glance, they were extremely excited and radioed Jason Grant and I to come by and check out the footage. And by the time we got to the room, they had taken a closer look, and Tango had noticed a very brief pause in the tape, as if somebody was behind the camera, stopped it, and then restarted it. So when we got to the room, Steve played the tape, and we were all looking closely, and then we realized what happened. And we were all pretty speechless, and we couldn't believe, this went down. It really, it knocked the wind out of our sails, no pun intended, for the rest of the night.
Sure.
So in terms of, from that point on, we were just really dragging in enthusiasm. We were just so upset about what happened. So we didn't get a whole lot more investigating done after that. That probably happened around 3:30 a.m. But beforehand, we had some personal experiences, and I feel like the pool area felt to me very, very heavy. And it was interesting because Steve and I, in back of the pool area, there's a dressing room. This dressing room stalls that a lot of people report a heavy, oppressive feeling. They get dizzy. They think there might be a vortex back there. And to explain to viewers what a vortex is in the paranormal community, it's basically a doorway for spirits to come in and out of. So Steve and I were checking that out, and he got a very oppressive feeling, and he started to get dizzy. I didn't confirm that with him because at the time I had a really bad cold, and I was feeling pretty heavy from that. But the pool area itself, for me, felt really, I don't know how to describe it other than very creepy. And I felt like there was something there, but we didn't catch anything on tape or audio. So
Very
I'm
cool.
excited to go back and see what else could be going on. I mean, like I said, after the incident happened with the high 8, we kind of lost our steam. And, we could have investigated for another couple hours. We finished up some EVP work in the boiler room, but after that, we just kind of closed up shop and, went back to our rooms where they're, very disappointed. So,
Sure.
yeah, I'd like to go back and continue on and see what else we could find.
Great. And for those people that are interested, we are going to be doing an investigation with Lisa and with Donna from TAPS, also with Chris Fleming from Dead Famous, and Patrick Burns, the paranormal investigator from the TV show Haunting Evidence. We're going to be investigating the 4 main different hotspots of the Queen Mary. And it's going to be roped off in sections just for our group so that we can go in there. We're going to be breaking it down into really small little groups. So 4 different investigations will be going on at a time, so everybody will get a chance to investigate with a different one of the ghost hunters that we'll be bringing along with us. It's going to be a great weekend. Donna and Lisa are going to do a little talk about the show, do some question and answers. We're also going to do a review of the Queen Mary episode and have Donna on hand to do a question and answer about it. We've got Chris Fleming who will be on hand. We're going to show his episode that he did of Dead Famous that took place on board the Queen Mary. He'll be doing a question and answer. We've got Patrick Burns will be there to do some questions and answers and go over the proper etiquette of paranormal investigating and telling us the do's and don'ts and what's really worked well for him, also going over different equipment. So we've got a really great lineup. We also have some entertainment coming up. We've got a couple other guest speakers that will be popping in throughout the weekend. We've got a couple authors that are going to be joining us for that as well. It should be a really fun time, but you get a chance to come out, mix and mingle, have some pictures, autographs taken with the celebrities that we'll be there with. And let me tell you, just from the experience, if anybody had the chance to go to the Rhode Island event or will be attending the Colorado event, the TAPS people are some of the most down-to-earth, sweet people ever. And when Donna and everybody showed up to the Rhode Island event back in May, everybody just loved how everybody is just so sweet on the team and took the time to stand there and talk to just about every one of the guests that were there, take pictures, do autographs. It was just such a really great opportunity for everybody. And that's the way it'll be. And you get an entire 3-day event. And it's actually Sunday the 14th, Monday the 15th, and Tuesday the 16th we'll be doing the investigations, and then everybody goes back on Wednesday the 17th. But we should have a good time. We'll get a chance to review evidence that people might have collected while we were on the ship, look at pictures, and have some of the celebrity ghost hunters break it down for us and let us know if what kind of pictures we got and EVPs and video anomalies and strange things. So it should be a great opportunity. And again, if you're interested in attending the event, go to our website at darknessradio.com, click on the Trips tab, and there's the trip banner for both the Rhode Island event that's coming up in December, the second weekend in December, with Steve and Paula again, and then we'll get a chance to go to the TAPS headquarters, do the investigation of the hotel, and whatever other TAPS members happen to be in town have promised that they'll stop by and say hi as well. So you get a chance to possibly meet the whole crew again. Then the big event for the new year kickoff will be in January, as I just mentioned, at the Queen Mary, with a lot of great celebrity guests. And, Donna, again, people just loved meeting you there at the last Rhode Island event. I think it's going to be a great opportunity. We're trying to break up these events, too, so that we'll have different ghost hunters with us at all the different events, so that we have something, for everybody to experience, and everybody gets a chance to hang out and meet different ghost hunters as we do the events. So, I appreciate you going to be a part of that, and I thank you very much for doing that with us as well.
Oh, well, thanks for the invite. I mean, it's great for me personally because paranormal research investigation, as we all know, is not a science or an exact science, so even close to it. And what we have to rely on is each other's information and exchanging information. So for me personally, it's great that I get to meet all these paranormal research enthusiasts and hear their experiences and what they do for investigations and what they've learned. So it's not only, meeting the fans and answering questions about the show, it's an opportunity for me to learn from the fans as well. So I'm just so excited to do that. I'm just so excited to meet everybody and hear what everybody has to say and exchange that information. That's how research progresses. I mean, that's how we advance in this field. It's by networking with each other and building on what we know.
That's right. So again, if you're interested in coming out and investigating with Donna and Lisa and Chris Fleming and Patrick Burns from Haunting Evidence, that's going to be in January. Donna, we want to thank you very much for joining us on the show this evening, discussing a little bit about you. We'd love to have you back on in the future where we can have a full hour with you.
Absolutely, Dave. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to this event. It's going to be awesome. So everybody come out and join us.
Will do. Thank you very much for joining us, Donna. You're listening to the Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. Thank you very much for tuning in with us this evening. I'd like to thank our guests again for being with us. Mr. Ryan Buell from Penn State talking to us about the event coming up. Also, Janice Oberding talking about the Las Vegas Paranormal Conference, and the lovely and talented Donna LaCroix talking to us about the upcoming event at the Queen Mary. We appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to check in next week. We've got a very special guest that's going to be with us. We'll talk to you then. Have a safe weekend.